something. I was thinking or looking for a hero that could be in front of NIP Flash. Probably a Tigreal?
Tigreal's not too bad, but his wave clear isn't exactly the most helpful.
And it's very difficult to find the Zask in the middle. It's as if you're soaking all the damage. Why am I countering the things that I'm trying to bring up?
It's okay.
You're thinking of all the different possible angles. It's just the struggles of being a color, you know, the atypical stuff. But I think that Edith is just a little bit better because now you have a guaranteed way of, hey, we can definitely clear this lane way faster, but also very effective against trading against someone like Kufra.
So you're assuming that Edith is going in the roam?
Yes.
All right, let's work on that. I mean, that's why it was such a brilliant ban, right, Grok? Because we're talking about wave clear. Again, I don't think Yushin is a good wave clear either. So Zask and Yushin, they're literally a lane that's trading in blows and utility as much as possible, not too much focusing on the clear. So that's why I was thinking maybe in true NIP Flash fashion, they would choose something like the Cho.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't really like the Cho in this meta, so Edith is a good pick for them right now. But for Falcons Apbren, they're now going to be forced to close this out with the Nolan as well as the Terizla. So the Roger was flexed back into the gold lane, and now they have a good setup hero on top of the Kufra with the Terizla as well.
Really great stuff coming in from Falcons Apbren because they see the importance of having priority in your lanes. If you clear that wave fast, you maximize your HP, you don't trade too often, you as a team macro-wise are able to get to a critical point of the map faster than your opponents, turning the advantage from a 3v3 to a 4v3 and even a 5v3.
Yeah, and even for Falcons Apbren, they've been playing this way from the previous matches that they had, wherein it's actually Flap TZ setting up the play and have Ogwin to do the follow-up layer of crowd control for the team.
So now let's see. Okay, all right. Okay, I enjoy the Bane. Shout out to a friend of mine. He's a Bane connoisseur. His name is Leo.
Oh,
he likes to say Mabuhay a lot.
Yep. At your service, the atypical stuff. I think this is a really interesting solution that NIP Flash has in their back pocket, because now if you have that Bane, if you have the Bane in the right position, you can at the very least say, oh, Terizla jumps at us, Kufra jumps at us. No, pops your ult, disengage completely.
That's really true, and I think for Falcons Apbren, they need something to have this Bane zoned out, but it's gonna be up front here for NIP Flash. Probably focus more on the Moskov and have him the pace that he needs.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The composition for both of these teams have been set in stone. Remember, we are at match point. If NIP Flash don't force a game number 3, they will have to say goodbye to their tournament lives. And with that, let's welcome the Land of Dawn.
It's Falcons Apbren on the blue side up against NIP Flash on the red. Let's see whether this is going to go a little bit better for NIP Flash, because once again, this is tournament lives.
Yeah, you know, for NIP Flash, they need to capitalize on having Hades a faster rotation on taking that jungle against Kyle TZ. This has been a problem if we're up against Kyle TZ. He jungles really fast because of the vision also that Ogwin gives for Falcon. Oh, wow.
Oh, no, he's dead. That's first blood achieved instantly by Super Marco. A great trade converted into a kill.
This answers the argument whether Roger is the strongest marksman at level 1, because he has a lot of kit to actually counter out any gold laner in front of him, not unless that gold laner is on top or upper hand in terms of the range. So that's a nice judgment here for Super Marco. Very, very crucial for Ao.
I mean, the beauty of the Roger is that he punishes lazy gold laners. So, like, if any gold laner decides to just throw out their cooldowns early on at level 1, it's a guaranteed trade for Roger to just walk up, auto attack, maybe get the skill 1 down, and then transform, and then Lycan pounce to guarantee them to sit underneath their turret, right? So now that we have first blood coming in for Falcons Apbren, this is quite a significant lead for Super Marco, right? He has full control over his lane, and even Ao is calling over Edith to ensure that they get past this laning phase.
This is going to be hard for them, because for NIP Flash, as much as possible, you want to be JPL to be part of the team fight. But because of the lead of Super Marco, there might be a chance wherein NIP Flash will be forced to rotate on that lane. And again, Adamir will be the one who is the collateral damage here for NFP Flash. So looking at the emblems, we all know that for Falcons Apbren, they're really more on the faster pacing of the game, more on a damage-centric type of lineup. So this is where the game would probably change in terms of tempo.
Yep, here we go. As we see that Ogwen gets right on top of Adamir, followed up by the Nightmaric Spawn. They burst it down really, really quick. Hades, same level, final slash onto into the penalty zone. Oh, the fracture hits all three, and the disengage did not work. It did not come from the right direction as Cortese and Adamir are on the run. Ogwen says, nah, I'll fish for one more. That's a triple kill from Kyle. You know what? Instead of a triple, make it a quad. No! He manages to get away. Owl hops away just in the time. Oh man, this is not looking good for NIP.
Yeah, definitely for Falcons Apbren. It was as if I saw an alley play from Flap TZ to Kyle TZ. It was so on point that even NIP Flash, they didn't know that Kyle TZ was in that part of the bush. It's very crucial for an XP lane, specifically for Adamir, to walk in that area so that they have this intel that, hey, Kyle TZ is here. Just like from the usual instances wherein you are taking objectives. So yeah, for NIP Flash, they have to know first where the other junglers are. And this is where we say that Kyle TZ is really rotating fast for Falcons Apbren.
Here we go, a dive attempt coming in from Ogwen's side just to make sure that they get JPL. They're so close. Primal Wrath comes out just in time, and Super Marco's in trouble. Flickers forward, and the SOD finds the kill. Good play coming out for NIP side. The caught Falcons Apbren slacking, as across the map we see that Hades and Adamir trying to regain some form of an advantage.
For Falcons Apbren, it was a miscommunication or probably a miscalculation for them. The bottom lane didn't know that there was still an ultimate there for JPL, but still.
At the end of it, Owl still ends up dying, and Kyle's like, nah, we're not going to give you any advantages. We're going to allow Super Marco to do his thing. Keep dominating, my boy.
We have to give space continuously here for Super Marco, as Falcons Apbren says against Owl. And they know the threat here of having a Moskov up until the mid to late game as much as possible, limit that potential. And what's really nice here for Falcons Apbren, because if we look at the goal, it's actually Kyle TZ on the lead in terms of the farming or goal, for gold here against the NFP Flash. So probably the 1,900 gold lead for Falcons Apbren is leaning towards those damagers of the team.
Yep, and it's doing really, really nicely, right? Especially since they are the main damage dealers. Adamir are actually trading very effectively against Flap so far, really getting these resets off, making sure that Flap TZ barely touches him. That's the all coming in from Kyle TZ, as NIP Flash understand that they are behind, but they've got to take some control. You see that JPL does walk up into the Nightmaric spot, and Ogwen as well, forced to jump backwards, but it doesn't really matter who gets this turtle. It's about who finds the kill, and Adamir catches Flap TZ, predicting the flicker.
That is the cross-map play that we are looking forward for NP Flash, which is actually a good thing. So for Falcons Apbren, they took the turtle and continue for team fight.
Yep, and the Primal Wrath just gonna absolutely get shredded down. Kyle has a lot of damage, but it doesn't help that fused Nightmaric spawn made sure that he didn't exactly have a clean line of sight against their aggressors. With that being said, a lane swap has commenced for NIP Flash, but Owl, he might be in trouble. He hopped over the wall, but Kyle's like, hopping over walls, that's my thing.
Where are you going? Owl says Kyle TZ. So, okay, another team fight on the bottom lane. It might be a kill for Falcons Apbren.
Oh, Cortese still is able to find the kill. I'm pretty sure Adamir wanted to go for more. He got the green light from Kurt to say this kill is done for, but now the rest of the team is looking to reinforce the bottom side of the map with 75 seconds left for the next neutral objective to spawn. Where's the next move we can expect to see from NIP Flash?
Yeah, what's also interesting is that for NIP Flash, they're able to take down turrets as compared to Falcons Apbren. Now, looking at the itemization for JPL, he focused on building something that could be on the physical defense and also can do magic defense against Falcons Apbren. But for the gold laners, there is a 900 or 1,000 lead for Super Marco, which is very crucial because because he now has the Windtalker more on the movement speed. Now for Al, it is the Corrosion side. Also has the movement speed. It's all up to the other players now for Falcons Apbren and even for NFP Flash, whether, when, and where they want to set up a play. Because for the Moscow, as much as possible, you want it to be in a place where it's very tight.
Oh, I mean, this may not be the tightest of spots, but Flapteezy setting it up really nicely for Kyle. It looks like Falcons Apbren are just supercharging their cores at this point of time because they know they have such a big lead. Why not double it? 2x it.
Yeah, someone has to stop this cross-map play that NFP Flash has been doing because it is very effective now against Falcons Apbren. It's as if NFP Flash is the one dictating the rotation against Falcons Apbren. But we have another turtle here. I think Kaltizi will secure this one.
No problems whatsoever. Super Marco coming back to the lane. He doesn't want to lose his tier 2 without putting up a fight. But JPL is now caught by himself. He might be the sacrificial lamb to allow Owl to get out of here. But Owen, he spots it, catches out anyway. Penalty zone even being committed. But they only find JPL. Kyle is going to cover the mid lane. But this forced the motion out of NIP Flash.
And even the Purify of Owl has been used. Good thing he has the Purify, because if not, it's going to be crucial here for NIP Flash. And because of the continuous play that Falcons Apbren has been doing, they now destroy the third up top. And even at the bottom lane, even Kaltizi is all over the place in the jungle area of Hades. Now, the question here now for NIP Flash, how will they capitalize on this ultimate that Hades has? Because so far, because of the single targeting or focusing on specific lanes that Falcons Apbren has been doing, there's no heavy team fight for NFP Flash, and that is where the hero of Hades is really needed.
I think it's just a battle of efficiency, right? Like Falcons Apbren, the more abilities that they hit, even if it's on a single target, it's honestly not that bad. Owen, he senses something is wrong with the force here.
I think he can smell the players of NFP Flash.
I mean, he sees JPL, he could go for more, but they're going to start walking up, and now they know that Kurtizi, Adamir, and JPL are the ones who've been hiding in that bush. Great game sense from Fcap.
Yeah, for NFP Flash, it's also good that they're not really committing or overextending in the area where in Falcons Apbren can set up a play against them.
Oh, nicely played by Kyle! He literally said to Adamir, "Not today, kid." That's just behind him. Final Slash doesn't connect and kills him immediately after. Now they're trying to disengage from that mid lane, but Fcap say, "No, you don't have enough damage to clear our wave, so we're going to try and take everything away from you. We don't get the tier 1, but we will try and instigate war in your jungle."
Speaking of clearing of... wait.
JBL gets pushed backwards into it. Jushin is trying to zone off the rest of the members of Fcap. Does find Owen, pulls him out, forces him to flicker off here. And even Hades committing to his ultimate as well. Really doesn't get much done, but at the cost of a single flicker, not that bad for Fcap.
You know what, for NFP Flash, what's really sad is also for Hades, the ultimate is being used just to clear the minion wave and not used for maybe damage for them. Oh wait, Adamir.
Yeah, he's gone. He's a goner here, especially with the Executioner Strike still applied to him. There's no reason for NIP Flash to even walk up because they're so ult dependent.
Yeah, that's really nice that you've pointed that out, because for NFP Flash, it's as if they're waiting for a skill to hit before dealing damage or before setting up a play against Falcons Apbren.
Oh, once again, it's going to be JPL who is on the chopping block. Hades does get the trade on towards Orgwin's side, and even Floppy gets pulled underneath the turret, forced to flicker on out of there. This is just the power of Jushin, but man, look at that lead.
Yeah, that's a very huge lead here for Falcons Apbren. And did you see that? We're in Owen did... I was about to explain something with Kaltizi. Oh wait, stop the explanation first. I'll see you the damage. But yeah, continuing to what I'm saying is that, have you seen that part where Owen jumped and then it was almost simultaneously with the penalty zone of Flapteezy? They're just ready to dive whenever there is a player from NAP Flash, and that's the reason as to why NAP Flash is almost always out-positioned for every time that they want to counter the play of Falcons Apbren.
I mean, when you have a jungler who's 8-0-3, I'll die for it. I'll die. You tell me to go, you tell me to jump, I'll say how high, right? No questions asked. I will throw my life on the line if you have that big of a lead. Because look at this. Every outer turret is getting taken away. If they get an inhibitor here, they might set up for a checkmate angle, and JPL is just trying to make sure he protects the barrier. But at this point, it's a little too late. They've managed to hold on to their inhibitors, and Fcap is like, all right, we're just biding our time.
Yeah.
8K lead, just 2 more K, and you guys are going to be in a pickle.
Yeah, probably for Falcons Apbren, just continue this or this maintain this lead as much as possible against NP Flash. But the thing is that for NP Flash, since they have the Moskov in their lineup, there's a high chance for them for a comeback as long as there's not going to be a casualty on another team fight.
Oh, the final slap pushes Ogwin out of position, quickly flickers over the wall to save his life.
That was close.
Very, very close. Definitely clipped his ear there as JP. Oh, SOD actually lands it. Owl actually takes it to try and chase down Kyle TZ. JPL very, very low. But now Fcap then to play with a penalty zone, lands off the 3. That's what we were looking for. Adamir finds Few, but Flat finds Hades, and even the final slashes. Adamir cannot do more than that. Oh, flickers forward! Super Marco wants it! Oh, he gets knocked backwards. But luckily, Fcap, great synergy, takes turret aggro away.
What a nice juggle here for Falcons Apbren. They know that some of the players or their teammates are already low on life, but there is someone who takes that position instead so that they can still continue the team fight. And I think during that time when Ogwin was saved, all his teammates said, phew, that time, because that was close. That was a close kill against Ogwin. And for NP Flash, we could see the potential for Owl's damage, but again, we could see on that instant replay that it's gonna be hard for them to sustain all the damages all at once from Falcons Apbren. And look at that ultimate and even flicker from Few. He just saved himself and have taken that attention from Adamir.
Oh wait, we're in the middle of another fight as the Lord is being contested by NIP Flash. They already lost their EXP laner in Adamir. They're forced all the way back, and that's when Fcap is like, all right, try it again. I dare you. Walk out of your base one more time, and we will end this.
And even Owen was there just in case there will be players from NIP Flash. And look at the space again for Super Marco from Falcons Apbren. So they're just continuing this pattern. I mean, for NIP Flash, they will be up against a Lord again. It will be hard in terms of the clearing of minion wave. There's no really burst from the lineup. It's continuous damage from Curtizi. You don't want to use that ultimate of the Bane just to clear the minion wave, right? Probably more on the counter engage. So for Falcons Apbren, they have a high chance to end this game as long as they destroy the turret up top.
Okay, maybe there's some outplayability. I'm looking at the items. Trinity is already complete, as well as the Wind of Nature. Now with the Lord coming down through that mid lane, it's going to be a full front battle. Ogwin charging up, does get on towards JPL's side. The Earth Shadow knocks him up, but Ogwin is still alive. We can do this one more time as they're looking for an angle. Whoa! Well, Owl takes the SOD, forces out the Wind of Nature onto Kyle to try and trade him out here. But the Lord is already on that crystal. Flat may be going down, but that's Tournament Live is going to be taken away as while everybody is falling, that crystal break is broken wide open. That's Fcap taking this game 2-0 against NIP Flash.
What a clean move again from Falcons Apbren with a sweep against NIP Flash. I'm speechless about this game. It's playoffs mode. Falcons Apbren, they know their things.
The game needs to be stronger if NIP Flash wants to stand against a giant like Fcap, right? That early first blood coming in from Owl should never happen here. Because again, Moskov, once he hits level 2, can minimize these trades and honestly make sure that Super Marco doesn't get too far, even if he does get that first blood.
That's really true, because if it's up until the 4-minute mark, as much as possible, you don't want those side lanes at a disadvantageous situation, so that the jungle, since we are in the assassin meta as much as possible, you want them to be continuously moving in the jungle area. But if there's a kill or there's someone who is at a disadvantage on the side lanes, then the rotation is forced to focus on complementing that part of the lane. So that's what happened game number 1, even game number 2. Game number 1, it was the XP lane side. Game number 2, it was Owl side, and you don't want that to happen if you're up against a team like Falcons Apbren.
Yeah, it was very difficult for them to rotate around the map. I mean, I think it was the first 8 minutes that Curtizi got a triple kill, if I'm not mistaken. So it was already a really early control of rotations coming in from Fcap. And again, right, it looked like NIP Flash still had the same kind of game plan, I would say, in mind, right? A lot of quantum charges on the board. It felt like they really wanted to gain early momentum, but Falcons Apbren, they never let that slid.
I think this is a little different from game number 1, right? I think the roles are definitely reversed because it's definitely up to Fcap to find these big engagements rather than play the counter engage, because no matter what, the Bane ult is just going to shove them away, right? So the question is, how do I bait that ultimate out, and can we find a lead in other different departments, which number 1 was their laning phase, but I think most importantly, JPL had a really unfortunate time. It's not like he could set up for his team because he's always having to kind of plug up these holes in the ship that keep on, for some reason, they keep steering on into glaciers, and it's like, how do I stop this sinking ship from like taking on more water?
That's true, and it's also because of the lineup of Falcons Apbren wherein, you have purifies from for some of the players, but at the same time, you have another layer of crowd control. Again, for Flap PZ, he is sometimes up front, sometimes it's Ogun. So for JPL, do I save my teammate or do I set up for my teammate? Because probably we will see that in the highlights wherein Adamir was very far from everyone because he wanted to find few, but his teammates were like being taken by Flap PZ, by Kyle TZ, and even Super Marco. So their defense was really open for everyone. That JPL, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? Because come mid-game, right, after the tier 1s start to fall, every single move, and because of the raw tempo that Fcap have, they make a play across the map, and most importantly, when we look at the goal graph, right, the biggest jump does happen roughly around the 8-minute mark, where we do see not only do the jungle camps get taken away, but even structures are being demolished consistently by Fcap's side. Even the fact that Fcap are diving them underneath their tier 2s is quite a big problem for NIP Flash, because they're the team who's supposed to be able to disengage cleanly.
And if we take a look, I think that's minute number 3, right? That's the triple kill that Kyle TZ was able to get. Did that cause that big of a dip in gold and EXP?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Huge. It was such a huge play coming in from that angle. Like in a micro sense, it was really cool to watch, but in terms of gold and EXP, not only was Kyle getting those 3 kills, but he ends up invading the jungle. He ends up stealing away economy from the side of Hades, who walks out of this game and he's like, wow, he's already 2 levels ahead of me.
Yeah, that's true. That's why he is also the MVP for our game. A very high kill participation for Nolan, because most of the time we see a Nolan to be activated mid to late game, but because of that first blood again and triple kill actually for him, it was a lot easier for him to go on to places that NIP Flash really needs to defend. So even because of the play, that's a triple kill. And the approve sign. Because of the triple kill, we saw Coach Trevor with the approved sign. Yeah, jokes aside, again, because of that early game win from Falcons Apbren, there's a lot of discrepancy with the damage. There's also the level gap against the NIP Flash. And this is where we said that for Adamir, he wants to set up a play, but the defense of their hero composition was really open for the players of Falcons Apbren to burst them.
Yeah, I mean, this movement here coming in from Al, taking the spear of destruction, and then goes to Kyle TZ. It's like he wanted more people to be interested, right? To look away from that crystal and come towards his side. But Falcons Apbren, they don't miss. They play like the hive mind that they are.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really was able to identify in that game. It felt like they were literally a hive mind.
Yep.
Because the way that they